Welcome to part 3 of the Weekender. It's a little bit belated and it's not our fault. It's been an absolute nightmare. Just trying to get on these busy lakes, you know, since this COVID thing's come in. There's so many more anglers. I've tried for 3 weekends in a row to get up to Bluebell. This is the one that I was so excited about getting on Bluebell. I remember being on the Withy Pool Syndicate in the 90s, and Bluebell had Benson, it had Hedges, and I've done a few features over here, the old Weekender, the magazine piece, and this is the place to come. But we couldn't get on here. I phoned Tony, the owner, and very politely he said, "Steve, don't bother coming up. You know, it's a 4.5 hour drive for me." So, you know, it's one of them. We're not getting swims shut off. It's the Weekender is real, and I want to come up here. My ambition over the next sort of 10-12 months is to catch a 50-pounder. Whose ambition wouldn't that be, you know, but it's still mine as well. You know, I've been fishing a lot of years, but I've not had a 50-pounder. You know, I've not fished those waters with them in, but these lakes up here, they hold them. So we're here, we're embedded. I had to literally, I've just come off the back of a double tuition. 2 fantastic Scouse guys. I've spent 3 days up here, an extra night, just to hold this swim, and yeah, that's what I had to do. You know, people think you're getting shut off. This is real. This is not being shut off. I've had to stay up here best part of the week, and now we're filming. The weather's changed. It's gone horrible. It's you know, it's a northeasterly. The fish aren't as happy as they were, but we're here, and I'm excited. And I just want to see what unfolds over the next 48 hours. This lake holds some magnificent fish. There's a couple of possible 50s that have never been caught. One of them's been, he was foul hooked, and he was released. But so the thought of having a 50-pounder out of Mallard, it really gets me buzzing. And you know, as I say, I've just got the rods out very quickly. It started to rain. I've just moved everything from the back of the woods there, and now my tuition's gone. I've got the rods out. That's all I could do in the rain, just get them out quickly. So we're embedded, and let's hope that this is the one. As you can see, the light's dimming. It's autumn. It's my favourite time of the year. You know, I love the autumn and the winter. The light levels, they go down. Literally, it's dark by 7:15 through October. So I've had to get the rods out pretty quickly. I've joined the crazy gang. There's something I never do. I've spotted a big area of hemp, all sorts of bits and pieces, calanus liquid, whatever. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. Hopefully the theory's worked, but I've just tried something tonight, just to experience, and over the years I've had to change what we've done because the weather's changed. It's gone a northeasterly. The fish aren't as happy as they were. Yesterday they were absolutely dancing around. They were singing a tune, like, you know. But today I've seen about 5-6 fish jump, and that's just not what I saw yesterday. So that's the elements you're faced with, you know, fishing waters like this and changing the weather. So I've got the rods out rather quickly, but I'm still fishing, and I'll explain tomorrow, you know, hopefully with a big fish in my hands. You know, that's the idea, but I'll explain tomorrow what's going on. But, you know, with this light sort of dimming as quick as it is, we've got to, you know, I've got to get everything sorted. I've not had a break, I've not had any tea or anything like that. So, but the main priority was to get the rods out, start the Weekender on Bluebell. And that's what I come here for, like, you know. It's, you know, hopefully we'll get one of these big girls out of here. You know, there's some fantastic fish, and hopefully my, you know, my little theory, fingers crossed, will come to fruition. And that's all I can hope for. You know, we're all in the same boat. You know, we're fishing these waters under maximum. They're little maxed out, like, you know, and the fish they're very spooky, like, you know. I probably should have put a zig on, maybe, you know, but that's hindsight, and maybe tomorrow I might. But I don't like the zigs, you know. I want to catch a fish on the bottom with the tools I've been given. So fingers crossed for the night, and we'll keep you informed. So, morning update. Little pan of the lake there. It's not sort of, you know, it's not gone according to plan. I went with the usual approach, not my usual approach, sorry, and it hasn't worked. But the weather, you know, it's a funny one. You know, I've been here doing that tuition, and the weather was great. The southwesterlies are boshing everywhere. It was like a bloody dolphin show, like, you know. But since this northeasterlies come in, I've seen a few fish, like not very few, but you know, fingers crossed the weather's changing, and it's there's a few little more visitors coming. Yeah, the weather's changing, and I'm holding it out. You know, I've just baited an area. I walked out to a pole. There's a big sort of a clear area, and where I've put bait on it over the last few days with the Liverpudlian guys, this got bigger and bigger. So I thought, right, you know, I didn't have a rod on it last night. It just didn't feel right. It's in a shallow area. They're not going to be in the shallows when it's cold like this, you know, and raining. And the rain hasn't stopped, but thankfully that's why I'm doing this now. The rain's sort of easing up, and I can attempt. You know, I got the rods out rather quickly yesterday. I'll say I've never dunked a line in this lake. You know, so it's all new for me. But I'm really enjoying it. And you know, and there's big uns out there to be caught, you know. So that's the aim. That's what I've done, and that's why I've put together a little sort of ground bait mix of active mix, bloodworm pellet, bloodworm attractor. I put a few worm in there and a few caster, because apparently they love it up here, you know. And I was left with a few of them, so I've put them in the mix, and I'll just keep an eye on the spots and see how we go from there. I'll keep you updated. Right, so you know, as it's sort of approaching, well, we're into autumn, approaching winter and that, you know. Well, this was a dumbbell wafter, little manila, but I'll just chop it down just to make it look like it's been there for a long time. It looks like an old tiger nut. I don't use tiger nuts at all, like, you know, but unless they're chopped tigers in a hemp mix, but they just seem to take them quicker, like, you know. I think if you know where I'm going to put this is on a little sort of spot, little homemade. It's a carp hole right by the reeds, and there's been a big fish down there. I saw a mid-40 common the other day, and I heard a big fish again last night in there. So if he's down there, I'm sure he'll have a little dabble at that, and let's keep the fingers crossed. I wasn't going to use this one, but because the wind hasn't come in yet, but I'm going to put it round there, leave it out there, leave it for tonight, and well, hopefully might get a bite before dark. You know, where I'm putting it, it's a pretty good little spot. I've got quite excited about this little spot. I've had to go out there in the waders, and unfortunately my waders got a little hole in them, and I've got wet legs, but it's worth it if we can get a carp for it. So we'll get that on the rod and see what it can produce. Right, so I'm grinding this literally to powder. There's only a few little bits in there, you know. This is only for the bag mix. But as you can see, all the goodness in that. You can see the tiger nut, the peanut. One of the best things in there. It's not a secret because it's sticky. Make no secret about it. But they use chia seed, which is one of the dearest seeds on the planet. But that's in that bait, and it's so good. Carp love it. You know, a lot of people use it in Indian food and lots of recipes around the world, and that's in Manila. So just to that mix I've just ground up, all I do is the ever faithful, the little baby's bloodworm pellet, the 2.3s. The only reason I put this in, it does give it a nice fleck, but this is for the bag. If you grind that Manila boilie up, and you compact it tight like I do in the bags, it can end up a little cylinder, and sometimes it can want to float, and it doesn't break down so quick. So you just put a few pellet in there, and that's the only reason, because I put bloodworm pellet in the bottom of the solid bag anyway. That's what's protecting the hook. I don't hook any of these little bits of Manila or whatever. But that's just, it's, you know, it gives it a fleck, but it's just literally for breaking down. It starts breaking down straight away rather than being compacted into the bag. So just a little tip, you know, if you are using solid bags, which I do for, you know, for the Hermit and the Wivy, I use a solid. You know, I struggle with rigs, a bit of OCD or whatever you call it. I struggle using a supple braid, and you know, cast it out there and think, oh, is it tangled? Is it tangled? I can't sleep, you know. And so all I do is put the Wivy always put that in a solid bag, and that's just literally, it's a vehicle for getting that braid out there. I'll stupidly let a bit of rain get in that bag, and some of the pellets have got wet, but that's okay. We'll get this out before this big southerly wind comes in with the rain, driving rain. That's why I put my front on the bivvy, and it's apparently it's going to come in quite good. But that's what we've been waiting for. I don't mind getting wet if it's a fish. Don't want to get wet before that. I've got my little mascot Kai here. Wants to eat everything, don't you, Kai? He was having a little dream a little while ago, Kai, wasn't you? About I think he was the leader of the husky pack, towing the old sledge along. So we'll get this out. I can feel the rain driving in here now. Get this done as quick as we can, and I'll say this is being deposited out on the on that little seam, the gravel seam, not far out, and hopefully that'll it'll produce for me like it did for my tuition. So that's all we can hope for. But now there's no excuses now. This weather's bob on. This is carp angling now. Well, the reason I'm going 9 wraps, it's still deep, it's lovely and deep, 12, 13 foot. I've seen it, I've watched everyone on all these lakes I go to, and everyone's got to hit the longest thing. They've got their 3.5 pound rods and whatever, so everyone's fishing long range. These big ones are getting away with it, closer in, you know, and that has to be a patrol route. It's cleaned all the way along, like, you know, and I'm sure the big girls will travel along that, you know, and whilst we're all fishing over the top of them or far away, they're getting away with stuff, and they're coming in and eating all the bloodworm, making new holes, and it's worked, you know, because we did that. Rather than putting, we were told 18.5 wraps to 22.5. We found that spot and it done 5 bites, so that's why I'm going. I didn't put it on there last night, stupidly, but then it wasn't the weather. It wasn't the weather, so tonight, and that's why I've not gone for any liquids in this one. The manila, the ground up manila, has got enough liquid in it. And you know, the carp, as we spoke about, loving the nuts and all that. So this is my little theory on this rod. I've got my little dropped off rod, which has got a lot of faith in that one. But this one, hopefully, let's see if we can get one of the bigger girls out of here. That's why we come to do the weekender, like, you know, it's just try and wangle out, you know. Don't get me wrong, I love any carp, you know, but I've set the targets for many years, you know. That's why in 1987, passed my driving test, went up the Wivy pool, you know. I had to travel 125 miles and I was earning like 25, 30 quid a week, you know, in the early days, and spending all my money trying to catch 30-pounders, and here I am still 30 years later, still trying. It's a great sport, it's a great sport. Kaiser, should we go to the pub? Oh, you want to go to the pub? He wants to go to the pub, yeah. What time should we go to the pub? About 11? About 11? 11. 11, I know. What about, like, should we stay for last orders? What should we stay? Oh my God! No, I know. Go to the pub, yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. Oh, he's gone again. Pub at 11 then, yeah? Yeah? Yeah, well, okay. Good dog. Well, they say romance is dead. For me, I'm old school. I've been around a long time carp angling. You know, I started carp angling in the 70s and got us out, you know. I built up this thing about, you know, who I wanted to admire, you know, Kevin Maddox. And so I ended up, 1987, got myself into Withy Pool. I had to meet Kevin, you know, he wrote Carp Fever. What you guys, a lot of you young guys don't sort of kind of, and I feel sorry for you, like, you know, we didn't have the internet, we didn't have mobile phones, we had a telephone box. The only word of mouth was literally whispers. And that's why carp fishing was so secret, and it was such a, you know, such an enjoyable thing. I remember Dave Lane ripping up Horton, Terry Hearn ripping up Yateley. We're talking about sort of the early 90s, and we were up at Withy making, you know, we were designing rigs. We were carving out carp fishing, and as it is today, and putting it across the world, and those things, and every now and then you got a little whisper about a new lake, and it was so exciting, you know. And those are the things that drove you to, you know, for me to drive 250 miles, you know, every other weekend in my little yellow beat up van, and I was earning 30 quid a week. And you know, so I heard about Bluebell, and it came across the scene. And Kevin, I remember Kevin, I was having a chat with Kevin in the old syndicate at Withy, and he said, you know, there's a fish called Benson and one called Hedges, you know, because in the old days it was Benson and Hedges gold, and they were gold commons, and they were big commons, you know, and everyone wanted to come and catch them. And that's where really Bluebell triggered off. It catapulted into you know what it is today. You know, it's always had. I mean, this is what I'd say quintessentially English carp fishing at its best. It's posh. It's unbelievable, the fish you've got. You can fish any one of these waters and think, God, what's the next tug on your line going to be? And that's the buzz that I like, you know, I personally like that. They're not easy waters. Tony, who owns it, he's owned it since God knows, 30 years or maybe more. But what he's done here, he's turned it into something really special, and you know, and it's a very special place to come to. And I've never fished Mallard. I've fished Kingfisher once in the winter, which was not the one. It really wasn't the one. I've done one feature, an old weekender, which we're doing now. I've done that on San Martin, and here we are on Mallard. And I'm just thrilled to be here, and it's a privilege. And I'd just like to say thanks to the guys that are here, and they've been absolutely diamonds. They're not in your face bailiffs, and you know they let you get on with it. So yeah, big up to the team at Bluebell, and let's hope for tonight we'll get one of these whackers out of here. If I don't, God, well, the weather's conditions is right. Everything's right now, so there's no excuses. Right, here on the last morning, I went to bed early. We had a nice steak dinner last night, me and Tommy, and and Kaiser. He had a little bit, but I've sat here and I've watched since 7:15 this morning. It's a very gloomy day. It feels like a winter's day, but it's not. It's still early October. It's autumn. You know, it's one of the best. As I've just talking now, another fish has jumped long. They've moved out of that far area away from all the lads that have been catching, and another one. So yeah, that's good. I'm gonna change my little tactics. I've done the 9 wrap, as you've seen on the what we put out yesterday. They're not coming in that close. You know, they're definitely they're about 30 wraps out. So they're sort of mid water. You know, when you look at this lake, it's 20 odd acres. It's 14 foot deep. It's that's millions of gallons of water, and they're nowhere near us. So I'm going to change tactics just for the last day. We've got about, I don't know, probably about 10 hours left, and I'm gonna have to whack two solid bags right out in the middles, and they start to show there. So you know, that's the, you know, if you're one of those guys that gets up early in the morning like I did, and I sat and watched the water. I've not sort of, you know, gone, you know, I could have before the cameraman got up, I could have whacked one out there, but I've just waited, and I've seen what, 25 shows out in the middle, and that's what you got to do on these waters, you know. Just seen the gates open at 8 o'clock in the morning, and there was more cars come in today on a Sunday than there was on the Friday, which is just absolutely bloody crazy. You know, so the pressure, these fish are feeling the pressure, and yeah, they put themselves out in the middle of the water, so that's what I'm going to do. Put them out in the water, and there's my little mate, Kai. Kai's there. Oh, he's sniffing. He's just he's sniffing whatever of what's left of the steak dinner. So I'm going to put these rods out, and well, hopefully we'll get one last morning. Yeah, it's quite a lot of. Maybe I should have walked out a little bit further. That's gone less distance than I thought. These fish are not stupid. That's taken. Look how much line that's taken off a spool. That's a good 120, probably 140 yard, and still not where they were. But I think they're just doing their little hide away from the angler's trick. So that'll do for one. The next one I'm going to put the waders on and put it out even further. The Manila Active Mix, I use this, incorporate this in. I'll never go fishing, especially in the winter, without this stuff. Not only does it make maggots delightful, and the fish seem 110% more interested in maggot with that on it. But if you're using solid bags, just put that in there for about 2 minutes. Put it in right, cover your lead, cover your hook bait, because you know we're out in the winter now. Well, we're out in the autumn, but it feels wintry, and you just get damp everywhere. You know, even the solid bags, they don't feel crispy anymore. They're damp, and it takes all the moisture out. And I'll put that in the bag in a minute, and it'll sail out there fine, you know, and no open holes and whatever, you know. You look at that lead, it's sucked in. That active mix it's just sucked into that, you know. It's taken all the moisture out, and that feels dry now. So yeah, I think we're ready to go. They're definitely not coming into the shallow area. So 9 wraps, as much finesse I put into that on any given day, that would have caught loads of carp. But they're creatures, never work with wild animals, they say. So you know, they've got tails, and they know what they want to do, and they've been following bloody fly hatches, which is unusual, you know, in October. But it's been so warm this year, and so well, we're going to get this one out. Hopefully a little bit further than the other one, right towards the middle. Oh, did you see that? A fish just jumped. Donk. That's more like we're in the zone. Now first time in 48 hours, I've actually seen fish boshing in front of me, and just trying to take advantage. Probably got, I don't know, it's probably like 9 o'clock now. We've got till 4 o'clock this afternoon, and yeah, it's been tough, but that's fishing. That's when you sit up from 12:30 and analyse. It's He's stuck on something, but there's a lot out there. He's still pumping away. That's literally been out there 10 minutes, and just daylight has proved where they are. They're creatures of habit. I'll have to go out a little bit further out because it's so shallow here. Well, maybe not, I don't know. Yeah, it's hit something. I don't know, gravel bar or something. Oh, after all that, it's come off. I don't know if I've been cut off or no, not been cut off. Something's gone. No, as you can see, even the bag has not even melted. But yeah, he hit a weed bed or something. Barbless hooks, it's always a trouble. Yeah, that's the point's been blurred, or bird even. Oh, absolute devo. Like I say, not a lot of sleep, but that's a good indication. 10 minutes, you can see the elastics come out the lead. It's been done. It felt okay, felt a good fish, but you never know at that sort of range. It could be a 10 pounder, it could be a 30 pounder, a 40 pounder. But that's gonna have to new rig. It's been done. What can you say? When your luck's not in, it's not in. I'm actually gonna leave that net there. So yeah, pretty disappointed, but you know, that's proved in 10 minutes out of what, 40 hours in the right spot when the fish are there. Tactics, manila pop up. It worked and it ripped off, you know, and oh well. Right guys, coming to the end of the weekender, it's been fantastic. I've loved it. Although, you know, you've just seen I've lost a fish. Hey ho, oh God, sorry, there's a big one just jumped right on the 9 wrapped sort of spot that I had the rods on last night. Oh well, that's life. It's been, you know, we've had no lucky breaks, we've had no swim shut off. It's real. It's you know, it's the same as you guys fish, and it's taken us 3 weeks to get up here. I finally got the swim. I did a tuition. He had 9 bites. I'm doing exactly the same as he did. The fish have tailed off. They got tails. That's what they do. Live animals move, and that's what they've done. You know, it's been one of them. It's been fantastic. You know, I've so enjoyed it. But like I say, lucky breaks. You know, have we had any? Yeah, I think so. You know, lucky break the first weekender. That was on the Pads Lake. I had a nice 28 pounder within 25 minutes, and then I struggled like hell. Lost a fish on the last morning, which I don't know why. It's just my luck. It seems to happen, like, you know. And then the second weekend there was at Farlow's. It was 37 degrees in the day, 24 at night. It was horrendous. That's the most horrendous I think I've ever fished. And but we pulled it out of the bag. This one, thought we were going to pull it out of the bag. Still got 2 hours left. You never know. But I've so enjoyed this. You know, even though I've not caught anything, I've so enjoyed being up here. And this place just gives you a feel. It's got a little bit of panache, a little bit of style. It makes me feel like the old days, and I've got some room to work in the water. And I've had plenty of room to work in, so there's no excuses there. But the fish just haven't been there, so it's one of them. You know, over the next sort of however many months we do the weekender, you're going to see there'll be times when we've got too many fish, you know, and that's what happens. You know, the methods I've put out over this last sort of 25-30 minutes of this weekender are methods that I've used and I've caught all the way through the winter, January, February, you know, 43, 30, 740s that first weekend, that first winter I was back. And that's exactly what I've shown you over this trip. These methods work. If the fish ain't there, they ain't there, and that's just fishing, you know. And you know, I'm going to stay an extra night just because I've enjoyed it so much. You know, I've enjoyed the company, I've enjoyed the filming, I've enjoyed the challenge. Like, you know, if I'd have caught 20 fish, it'd have been, oh, okay, you know, look at him. It's not like that. Fishing's not like that. We all know that. You know, you guys are real. And you know, we still got 2 hours. If we get 2 hours, you know, if we get 2 hours a bite, you'll see an extra little bit on here. But if not, I've enjoyed the session. It's been a great trip for me. Really enjoyed it, even though it took me 5 hours to get here. I could have got to Barbados and back in on Concord I could have done, but no, really good, and hope to see you guys next month. And we'll have a new venue. Don't even know where we're going yet, and that's the beauty of the weekend. We'll pick another one and see how it goes. I'll see you next time, maybe. Well, I said if you see me again, it might be with a carp, and there she is. After that heartache this morning, and of losing that one, you know, especially setting up all night and sort of observing where they were, and the tactics have paid dividends. Absolute cracking 20 plus linear. It's what a way to finish. Absolutely thrilled. That's, you know, especially the third. This is the third one in. And that's 100% record, so yeah, quite thrilled with that. I can pack up a happy man. I might even, because I'm enjoying it so much, like I said earlier, I might even stay tonight and just you know, just have a chill now after the filming's finished. The cameraman went off to do some sort of incidentals of around the lake and whatever. It's typical, we didn't get the run on there, but it was absolutely hooning it away. And I just sort of had a little lay down and fell asleep, you know, and the rods ripped off, and I sort of struggled to get my waders on, and by the time I got to it, it was doing 160 mile an hour. And but yeah, cracking fish, really thrilled. So until next month, we'll see you again. But yeah, what a way to end, cracking. Yes, get in there next time.